Hello everyone, welcome to my channel's third video. As you may know, on my other channel, I did a video called Let's Go Latinx, which was just a meme video where I hopped in that trend and decided, oh, why not? I'm just gonna poke a little bit of fun at the term Latinx because from what I've heard, people don't like it. And I was like, it's a pretty cute thing, I guess. But oh my, did mentioning that word spur a lot of discussion. If you look at the comments, you can see people like, oh, Latinx this, Latinx that, Latinx, I hate Latinx. And like, it's just literally like thousands of comments of people just saying, oh yeah, if someone tells me that Latinx, yeah. So basically, what you get from that is that people do not like the term Latinx. But why? Okay, yeah, that was pretty bad. Well, before I explain what Latinx even is, I'm gonna start by explaining the basics of the Spanish language. Spanish words are usually gendered for whatever reason. Nobody puts too much mind into it. They just follow it because it's grammar, right? Grammar doesn't always have to make sense. But basically, there's like, for example, if you say amigo, you could say amigo or amiga, depending on the gender of the person. So if the guy's a dude, say amigo. But if it's a chick, now this has been the way that things have been for the longest time now. But what if people do not fit in amigo or amiga? For example, let's say there's a group of people like amigos, and like there's 50 women and 50 men. Like, what do you call them? Well, usually the grammatical thing you'd say is just amigo. It's like, it's considered the umbrella term, and for the longest time that has been the standard. In comes the letter X. Now the letter X is used as, like, you know, algebra. Like whenever there's like something you don't know what there is, you just put X, and like that's the same thing. If there's no gender, you just put X. Now that's the logic, right? Then why do people hate it? Well, firstly, let's just get the grammar stuff out of the way. So for the longest time now, like in school, they have taught us to use the O, or like even some people have been taught to use an E, like amigue. So for example, instead of saying amigo or amiga, you just say amigue. Now, I've never been taught of this. First time I heard it is in the internet, but I know it's something popular. Like, I've seen a lot of people discussing it, but I can't say anything about it. So we already have these accepted standards that even some people in the LGBTQ accept. So like, why are we looking to change the X? Well, in comes America. America. I know this is Russian, but just pretend it's in English. So most use of the word Latinx actually comes from, well, from what I've seen, it comes from like English speakers or Spanish speakers that live in an English-speaking country. This is probably because there's it's common to be inclusive up there, and like whenever you're talking about race, you want to include everyone. And so like, let's say you're a politician, a US politician, and you want to be like, get votes, and you want to include everyone. So you want to talk about Latinos, and you want to talk about LGBTQ people. So like, why not kill two birds with one stone and just use Latinx or Latinx, however you pronounce it? That's part of the problem. Nobody knows how to pronounce it. So like, now what happens is that people in either Spanish speakers in an English speaking country, or just English speakers are saying, oh yeah, this is the way it is, Latinx. This is the way you refer to this group of people. And that they're spreading the message, you know, because that's how humans work. And they go down to like the south, like Mexico and below, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the way we refer to you guys. And like, you see like people from Latin America who have literally never heard this word, and they're like, what? We literally speak this language. We've been speaking it our entire lives. How come we've never heard of this? What is this absurdity? And like, they see them as out of touch and all of that, and it's just, that's where the controversy comes in. Why is it still being used then? Well, I mean, it's just people trying to be inclusive. So like, it's just people wanting to do the right thing. They just do what they're taught that is correct. And if they're in an English-speaking bubble where most people don't speak Spanish and think that this is the correct way, they're gonna use it. Now, sure, there are people who speak Spanish and support using the word Latinx, but usually they're the exception. It's also surprisingly popular in the English-speaking world. So like, even Joe Biden's using it. All the corporations are using it, and it's just all over the place. It's hard to, if you speak English, it's hard to not hear that word. And of course, if you hear something, you're going to start using it. There's also a lot of debate going on if not using the word deliberately is being uninclusive. People do not want controversy, right? They don't want to get them up. So they're like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to use the word because it doesn't hurt me, right? Being inclusive is a good thing. Now, this is a problem because if Spanish speakers go out and say, well, I mean, I've never heard of this word before. I don't know, like, where you guys got it from. you're like, there's crazy people all over the world. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're just uninclusive. You come from a country that hates the LGBTQ and hates all kinds of people. You should just screw you. You think I'm kidding? No, I got a good read for you. Who gives a if the majority of Hispanics don't know or use Latinx? Opinion. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, social unrest, looming mass evictions, and another Great Depression. But the Hispanics, those Hispanics, they're at it again. The Hispanics, who fancy themselves Latinos, are rejoicing because according to Pew, 76% of our people have not heard and 20% do not use the term Latinx. Only 3% of us do. Most of these people sadistically rejoicing are cisgets. Most are men. Most are calling the term imperialistic, the brainchild of a colorized mind that has been influenced by you saying LGBTQA+ advocates. As if Spanish is in the language of colonizers, as if Spanish was enforced on our ancestors, as if we aren't the bastard of children of those Spanish-speaking rapists. Is this about Latinx, or are we just like insulting Spaniards now? You're the ones wielding the power, and the fact that you don't realize that or don't want to realize that just shows the rest of us that your advocacy for is rooted in denialism of the little privilege you were given by isms. But even that privilege isn't enormously hurtful, materially evil to the people in the margins of our hegemonic ethnicity. Those very same people who are out the front liners of our liberation and uplifting. Yes, indeed, you are seeing more women, more gay men, more gay women, more... I have no idea. This is where it gets good. Well, guess what? The majority of our people may be more progressive when asked about individual issues, but we are still drowning people in sexism, homophobia, transphobia, racism, classism, machismo, nationalisms. Those things won't immediately and magically disappear if we use an all-inclusive term. You got that right. But you, the ones who yell the loudest, the ones who type so furiously against the term you think is so insignificant, why do you care so much? Why the animosity? I tell you why. You want to be the sole champions of our ethnicity. You want to hold all the platforms. You want to be the only ones hustling the culture. Yeah, the term Latino is inclusive, but are you? When was the last time you came to the defense of a black and brown trans Latinx? When was the last time you privately told an executive not to invite that homophobe? You clowns. See? I was once like you, eons ago. But then I was exposed to the rhetoric of people who are more marginalized than me. But instead of letting cognitive dissonance permanently possess me, I let it flow through me. I love Spanish as much as any other Spanish speaker who resents being forced to learn another language to survive, yet let alone thrive. I prefer reading in Spanish. I prefer Spanish-speaking songs and poetry. It is indeed like wiping our what the heck is she going on about? He, she, I don't know. Latinx. What is this Latinx going on about? I give a crap if the majority of our people don't use it, but that's because I also give a crap about the LGBTQA+ community. The majority is wrong. Plain and simple. It's okay to stand alone and stand your ground in a room full of bigots. Go back to your hypocritical, homophobic, transphobic, progressive caves. Go back to defending Joe Rogan. What's the difference between you and alt-right incels? You are the straight white men of our enclaves. Vamose, be gone, get to stepping, corran camino, and take your crappy, misogynistic, homophobic, and transphobic family members with you. And yeah, she's obviously not the majority in this situation, but I mean, it's still pretty funny. And like, so you see where the problem is? Like, some people just want to correct, and like they just get attacked back. Well, I mean, honestly, both sides can be kind of violent. Like, if you look at my comment section, like if you like slightly defend the word Latinx, people just like will jump on you, which like neither of them is good. But like, I mean, I have an honest question for like both sides. Who cares? It's just a word. Seriously, I mean, if people just use a word, just don't use it. Like, nobody can force you to use a word. And just like, I mean, aside from like racist words, maybe like don't say those words. But I mean, if you're using a word and someone says, okay, I don't like it when you use this word, it's just, it doesn't matter. And like, this is for both sides. Like, if you use the word Latinx and people correct you, just do whatever you want. If you use the word Latino and people correct you, do whatever you want. Honestly, this is the most internet Twitter thing I've ever seen. Just people constantly arguing about a word. Like, honestly, I just don't get it. Now, I obviously stand for the side of the, like, using Latino. I've never unironically used the word Latinx, but I mean, still, just who cares? Like, honestly. Hopefully, this is the end of the discussion. Hopefully, I don't get constantly sent stuff like saying, oh, yeah, this person said Latinx, and like this person's are arguing, oh, look, this new poll revealed that only 97% of the people don't use the word Latinx, which, by the way, that's actually pretty funny. This person directed this whole thing towards the 97% of the Latino community. So I mean, that's actually pretty astounding. But like, yeah, just say what you want. No one can stop you for doing anything. This is whatever, especially on the internet. Anyways, that was it. Thank you all for watching, and subscribe for more content like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say.